I'm going to be president of this country, whether you like it or not. And I will preside over the affairs of this country, including presiding over you. I think you must start adjusting to that reality. The sooner you do that, the less chest pains you'll have when that reality comes.
What chest pains would result?
Racist chest pains.
We're not going to be controlled by Rupert here, who speaks to them like little kids. You must go and ask how Rupert speaks to your ministers. You can't try that with me. A white man. I don't care if you've got money or you don't have. No. No white man speaks to me like that. You don't do that. Don't do it. I don't care whether he was my man. No white man speaks to me the way Rupert speaks to your ministers.
Forward with free education, forward! Viva our honorary president Winnie Nomzamo Mandela, viva! Viva our honorary president Winnie Nomzamo Mandela, viva! One student, one computer, one student.
The president of a Democratic Alliance, DA, had declared open war against the leader of the EFF, Julius Malema, when he said these words.
And today, I publicly declare Julius Malema's EFF to be political enemy number one of the Democratic Alliance. And I commit the DA to fight back against the EFF at every turn, with the ultimate aim of defeating the doomsday coalition that could seal South Africa's fate next year. This is no longer about politics, Democrats. It's about the survival of democracy and the survival of South Africa.
After he said this word, did Julius Malema get scared of his words? No, because Julius Malema came back and responded back to him saying this.
We have accepted the invitation to war by the DA. We're not scared of the DA. We're not scared of Action SA. We're not scared of the Oppenheimers. We're not scared of anyone who has invited us to the war. We are here today to accept the war and to accept that we're enemy number one of the white monopoly capital. And we will not be defeated.
Since then, the DA, they've been putting a lot of effort to destroy the leadership of the EFF. But for what reason? What is motivating them in order for them to have this kind of hatred against the EFF, especially against Julius Malema? We all know that in each and every country, there is what we call the MP, which is the presidential majority, and the opposition as the political party. And unfortunately, in South Africa, that is not the case, because we are having two opposition political parties which are supposed to be putting their power together in order for them to fight the ruling party, which is the ANC, and remove them in power. But unfortunately, in South Africa, that is not the case, because we having two political parties who don't seem even to speak the same language. The main opposition political party, DA, they have declared an open war against the man called Julius Malema with his political party for the reasons that only them can explain.
Make no mistake, the EFF is its enemy. The EFF Doomsday Coalition will expropriate property without compensation and abolish private property rights. The EFF Doomsday Coalition will nationalize and destroy foreign banks, investments, mines, and other investments in the country. Let me tell you, EFF Doomsday will make the collapse of Zimbabwe look like a dress rehearsal. And it will leave all South Africans, black, colored, white, and Indian, completely destitute and abandoned. Throughout this period of this leadership campaign, I have reflected deeply upon the risk of the EFF coming to power.
What is making them to be so afraid of Julius Malema? Why do they want to destroy the EFF of Julius Malema? Well, in this video, we have prepared for you 8 good reasons to demonstrate and show you why these people, they are so afraid of Julius Malema, whether it is locally in South Africa, whether it is internationally. All these people, they are afraid of Julius Malema. So you need to watch this video until the end in order for you to understand exactly these 8 good reasons that we had prepared for you, that prove and show on how these people, they are so scared of Julius Malema to lead South Africa. But before that, I want you to pay attention to something that did happen. Yes, you heard me correct. Something serious did happen last year in 2023 when Julius Malema had to give this powerful speech in the 10th anniversary of the EFF in Soccer City, Soweto, whereby Julius Malema, he give a taboo speech that these people never want him to talk about. It all started when Julius Malema said these words.
Alliance, shoot to kill, Gamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer, brr, pa, brr, pa, attention.
Well, that was the president of EFF, Julius Malema, as he had finished giving this powerful speech, which we had already uploaded a video for those who have not watched it. But as you saw that Julius Malema have to do something that usually do whenever he finished giving his speech, by singing this song that we all know that he was even taken to the court because of this song, and he won inside the court. But this time, since he had to sing it inside the Soccer City, where there were about 110,000 of people gathered over there, all of them in red berets, to listen to this powerful speech that Julius Malema was giving. Well, this speech ended up driving them very crazy. They were going insane, and they had to find a way to fight back on the EFF and Julius Malema, because they believe that Julius Malema is supposed not to be singing this song. Well, guys, we were all surprised when we slept and woke up just to find out a topic trending on social media saying that, I quote, DA decide to take actions against EFF with Malema. So we were all asking ourselves questions to understand what kind of actions do they want to take this time against Julius Malema. Of course, we saw the leader of DA who had to come and announce these actions that they had took against Julius Malema. I don't want to speak in behalf of this man, but I want you guys to have listened to himself what was the kind of actions that the DA with their leadership have taken in order for them to stop Malema from not taking power. Have watch.
Standing on a stage in front of thousands of people in Soweto, Julius Malema resurrected the demon of hatred, division, and ethnic violence in South Africa. This is a man who is determined to ignite the civil war we averted in 1994. Julius Malema told us exactly who he is, and it's time that we believe him. I pledge to you that the DA would do everything in our power to prevent Malema from gaining power through a doomsday coalition between the ANC, the PA, and the EFF. EFF doomsday will plunge this country into ethnic and racial conflict, the likes of which it has never witnessed before, and will leave all South Africans destitute, black, colored, white, and Indian. Let me be clear, the DA will not look away. We will confront Julius Malema's fascism head on. That is why I can today announce that we are filing charges against both Julius Malema and the ANC government at the United Nations Human Rights Council. My fellow citizens, the time has come to stop Malema. That is why I'm asking that you go to check.da.org.za to ensure that you and your family are registered to vote, so that we can rescue South Africa.
According to the president of Democratic Alliance, DA, John Stenzen, he had to consider this song or the words that Julius Malema sang that day inside the stadium as the hate speech, and it is the kind of the words that's supposed to be punished for. He blames the government of the ANC, saying that they are there and they have been listening to this song of Kill the Boer, but yet they are not doing anything against it. So they decided to take Julius Malema with EFF and the ANC to the International Criminal Court, the ICC. We are talking about the same ICC which the government of South Africa had took the government of Israel there over the genocide which is taking place in Palestine, which they failed to do. And this man, he want to take Julius Malema over there. You can tell already this ICC belongs to whom, and if they have to take Julius Malema over there, what will be the actions that this court can take? We all know which to whom this court will rule. So he said that he's going to take Julius Malema to this international court. Okay, fine. But is there any reasons behind all this? Because according to them, they are saying that Julius Malema is exciting a kind of ethnic violence against other people. Okay, fine. Let's give him a benefit of doubt on that one. But is that really the case? Because listening to his speech, you'll understand very well the man even describes some of the reasons that are motivating him to take Julius Malema to court, because they want to stop Julius Malema by all means. And these reasons, you are going to see it in this video. Yes, you are going to see it for yourself as this men get to explain some of the reasons why they're afraid of seeing Julius Malema to become the president of South Africa. Watch this.
My fellow citizens, the time has come to stop Malema. The truth is that the demon of the 1990s, which very nearly plunged this country into violence from which it would never have recovered, is not dead and buried. Julius Malema has resurrected it in time for the election. Now, many of you will recall that during the speech I delivered at the DA's Congress in April, I identified the EFF as South Africa's political enemy number one. And I pledged to you that the DA would do everything in our power to prevent Malema from gaining power through a doomsday coalition between the ANC, the PA, and the EFF. I did so for a very good reason. As I said at the time, and I quote,
"Make no mistake, the EFF is its enemy. The EFF Doomsday Coalition will expropriate property without compensation and abolish private property rights. The EFF Doomsday Coalition will nationalize and destroy foreign banks, investments, mines, and other investments in the country. Let me tell you, EFF Doomsday will make the collapse of Zimbabwe look like a dress rehearsal. And it will leave all South Africans, black, colored, white and Indian, completely destitute and abandoned. Throughout this period of this leadership campaign, I have reflected deeply upon the risk of the EFF coming to power.
EFF Doomsday will make the collapse of Zimbabwe look like a dress rehearsal and will leave all South Africans destitute, black, colored, white and Indian. EFF Doomsday will plunge this country into ethnic and racial conflict, the likes of which it has never witnessed before." Unquote. With his incitement to commit mass murder on Saturday, Malema has confirmed the urgency and timing of that warning. He is intent on igniting the civil war that so many South Africans worked and sacrificed to avert in 1994. But the DA will not let him succeed. That is why I can today announce that we are filing charges against both Julius Malema and the ANC government at the United Nations Human Rights Council. The first element of our United Nations case will focus on Malema's repeated incitement of ethnic violence. The second element will charge the ANC national government before the United Nations over its years-long failure to take action against their one-time protege, even as brutal farm murders continue to escalate in the wake of Malema's demagoguery. The charge will be laid in terms of Malema's violation of at least 3 key UN charters. The first is the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. The second is a declaration on the rights of persons belonging to national or ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities. This declaration compels the South African government to ensure that persons belonging to minority groups may exercise their rights, including, in this case, the right to life and to practice the profession of farming without any discrimination. The third is Article 27 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. For more than a decade, the South African state has utterly failed to use appropriate internal remedies to stop Malema. Time after time, institution after institution has turned a blind eye to his incitement. Instead of dealing with Malema, senior law enforcement officials drank expensive champagne at his table along with him at a fundraiser, which included other nefarious characters. This is exactly why the time has come to turn to the global community.
Did you hear that? When you listen very well to what this man was saying here, you can understand that the life of a black South African does not matter at all. Instead, the only life matter the most is the one of white people. And you could hear him giving also the reason, saying that if we don't stop Julius Malema now, because he considered Julius Malema as a danger for South Africa. And he says it very well that if we don't stop Julius Malema right now, we are going to lose the land. That is where the problem sits. That is where the problem stands, because all these things of saying that saying the Boer or whatever it is, it has nothing to do to what these people they are accusing Julius Malema of. But just because they know very well that they are in possession of something that does not belong to them, and now that the owner of this land want to claim it, they don't have the courage to talk about it. Then they are turning it around, making it look like no, Julius Malema is exciting people for them to go and commit crime against white racists. So, and you can tell that this man is doing all this because he knows exactly what are some of his reasons that keep on motivating them, because they want to protect what they are about to lose. And that is the reason why you see them, they are putting all this hatred forward, so that Julius Malema with the EFF, they should not be seen as the good people out there. Now, let us first try to understand, why are them accusing Julius Malema that if he become the president is going to take the land from them? Let us try to understand, does this land even belongs to them, or this land belongs to someone? I'm not the right person to come and tell you, even though you know my opinion on this one, but I rather prefer us to hear from Julius Malema himself what he keep on saying about the land without compensation. Let us have listen.
We are here today to remind Helen Zille and Rupert that this is not their land. This land belongs to the people of Kayamnandi. It belongs to the people of Azania. It belongs to the people of Kanini, because we were born here. We did not take anyone's land. They came, found us here, and conquered us and took our land. And we want it back. I can see that you are already doing a good job. You have gone up the mountain there in Azania. There is another one this side which must be sorted when the time allows. There is no one who must stay without a land. We need land, and we need to build proper houses for our people. Land is a dignity. Housing is a dignity. Without land, house, water, and electricity, without a flushing toilet, there is no dignity. They will never hear you because you don't have property. This is the fight for the ownership of property, so that we restore our dignity, we restore our confidence. We don't go around allowing people to disrespect us because we are propertyless. You will never disrespect a person with a property and they leave you alone. I'm not fighting with white people. They say, hey, is fighting white people. I've never beaten even a single white person. I'm wrong. I did with one at Winnie Mandela's funeral. Apart from that one, I don't go around fighting white people. I don't want to take their property. I don't want them to go into the sea and go back. No, I want them to share the land. I can't have one family because it's white owning 20,000 hectares of land. One family. New Brighton combined is 5 hectares or 10 hectares. The one white family owns 20,000. I will not fight with them. Since you are working on this 1,000 hectares, this one, remain there. This other 19,000, we must give to others who will make use of this land to feed themselves and to grow the South African economy. We must share the land, and we must not apologize about that. If the land is useless, why are they hating the EFF so much? Why are they fighting for to retain the land so much? Because they say to you, so stop bothering with those things of the land. Concentrate on this or that. Why are they not stopping to concentrate on the land themselves? If it was useless, they would have given it to us. If it was a real business, they would have given it to us. I don't understand why. For instance, if you look at taxi industry, they don't make enough money in the taxi industry. That's why we are fighting for them to be subsidized so that it can become business. To show that it doesn't make money, there are no white people in the taxis. They never go where there is no money. So you must go and look for where white people are. Wherever they are, we want to be there. Because that's where money is being made. That's where the economy is happening. Why must we go a different direction?
That is the president of EFF, Julius Malema, talking about the land. I give you all the time so that you can watch the full speech on that part as he tried to explain about the land. And you can understand that the problem of Julius Malema in all this is a man who knows his right and he knows what belongs to him as a black child. And he is trying to make sure that he gain or claim back what belongs to him. And this is what is costing him life now, because these people, they feel like now they will have a lot to lose if they have to let go of this land. Did Julius Malema lie about it? I believe you can also give us your comment through the comment section so that we can also understand whether Julius Malema is right on this one or not. Because looking at it, you can tell that these are the kind of things that's supposed to be negotiated properly during the time of apartheid, as they were trying to exchange the power back then. But people who are supposed to be negotiating, they fail to do so. And that become now a serious problem in our days, because the economy of this country now lays in the hands of these people. They are the one who control everything like minings, banks. You even heard himself, the lead of DA, talking about on how Julius Malema is counting to have the bank of government. And if that happens, which means all these banks that belongs to ABSA, Nedbank, Capitec, FNB, all these banks, they are going to collapse, because the state will be having their own banks. The state will be they'll be running their own minings. This will make sure that it will collapse a lot of all this business that belongs to these people, and they will just see themselves that they are no longer in possession of all these things. And that's the reason why they are fighting Julius Malema. So it is more clear that we should know by now that the problem here is not because Julius Malema sang this song, but it is because Julius Malema, he had something to say about the land. So this issue of land without compensation is not something that started today with Julius Malema, because some people might think that no, Julius Malema only started when he started the EFF. No, these are the things that Julius Malema had started since when he was the president of the youth in the ANC. Julius Malema had even to challenge the leadership of the ANC back then and try to remind them that no, you guys stop being hypocrites. You guys stop being misled by these people and letting them to control you and tell you what to do about the land. Julius Malema said it in front of the leadership of the ANC back then when he was being given a speech as the president of the UF League. He said that no, we don't need to polish the problem of the land.
We will never polish the issue of land. There is no way, even if you try, comrades, leaders, there is no way you can be diplomatic about the issue of land. The leadership of the ANC must implement the Polokwane resolution. Polokwane said, willing buyer, willing seller has failed. We must find an alternative. You have not come with an alternative. We are giving you an alternative. We must take the land without payment. If you've got an alternative, we are prepared to listen. Nationalization of mines is the resolution of this Congress. So perhaps we'll hear very minimal of Malema's policy on nationalization. Because now it's not Malema. 5,000 plus coming from many, many branches all over South Africa. Nationalization is the policy of the Youth League. We may not agree with the method used in Zimbabwe, but the critical issue is resolved. Land question. We want land. Without land, we are nothing. Why would this South Africa belong to us when we have nothing to show that this South Africa belongs to us? We need the leadership that is ready to resolve this matter. In 2040, not more than 5% will be transferred. What does it mean? It means our economy will still be dominated by the minority.
Remember very well that when Julius Malema spoke about these things of land without compensation in the ANC, that was something that all the entire system of the DA, I'm talking about DA, Open IMA, Rupert, all these people, all these rich people who are holding the economy of the entire country into their hands, they were not comfortable to hear all this. They were not happy to see this small boy talking about it. That's why they went crazy and said that, okay, who's this boy? In the ANC, no one ever tried to challenge us and talk about these things of land without compensation. Who's this boy who have the courage to come and tell us that no, you will take the land and everything? That is when they start fighting Julius Malema within the ANC. and that end up costing Julius Malema his time in the ANC. That is how Julius Malema was suspended in the ANC. Forget about all these things of like, no, Julius Malema was accused of 50-something corruption cases, or he was accused from stealing from SARS and so on and so on. Forget about all this, because we all know that in the world of politics, there's only two ways of eliminating someone. Either you eliminate them physically, either you eliminate them politically. And Julius Malema, they could not eliminate him physically because of the kind of influence that the man had already by then. And they know very well that eliminating someone like Julius Malema physically is gonna cost us as much it did cost them when they eliminated Crisani back in 19 something. So they had to try their best to eliminate Julius Malema politically by suspending him from all activities that was having in the ANC. That is how you guys saw Julius Malema. He went and started doing his farming before some people had to go and call him to come and open the EFF, because you could tell already that that was the mission. So they have to make up some stories that can make Julius Malema to be eliminated politically, and they succeeded to do so. And they thought they were gonna succeed forever until when Julius Malema came back. And this time he came back in a very powerful way, and with this message, by start now waking up the mind of each and every South African, telling them that no, you deserve to have back your land, and you don't need someone to be telling you things around. Talking about the song of Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, whatever they call it, is Julius Malema the first person to sing this song? Because if that is the case, maybe we'll have understand, but is Julius Malema the first to sing about this song? Julius Malema came and gave his own explanation when he said that.
There is no song, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer. That's a chant. We over-explained it in court. If you have a problem with it, go to the records of the courts. Come again?
What are the words that you are chanting?
You can't hear them. You want me to do it?
Yes.
Who lived? Hey! Yamaza! You see? So those are the words I see.
And the rest of it? Are you embarrassed?
No, I'm not embarrassed. I can't sing the words that I don't want to sing, because there are no words that are written that I must sing. So depending on where I am and what is the mood and what I seek to achieve, I will sing.
So in those videos,
So this one I sang for you, this is how that I start. Then from there, I start borrowing whatever I want to deliver to the people. Shoot to kill is self-explanatory.
shoot to kill. All right.
Yes, shoot to kill a man.
Shoot to kill, kill.
Shoot to kill, nyamazan. So nyamazan is an animal. So shoot to kill a man. Shoot to kill, nyamazan. It doesn't mean shoot the animal. You, the shooter, you are an animal. Part of our MK guerrillas were called nyamazan. It was their combat name. So when we say shoot to kill nyamazan, we are commanding nyamazan to shoot and kill.
So it is a command to shoot and kill.
Yes.
That's what's in there.
You also want me to interpret the language you hear?
Yes, just so we can. What are you saying?
Kiss the Boer, kiss the farmer. I thought it's English.
It is.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
It means kiss.
Kiss how?
No, the message in the chant is very clear. Shoot to kill. Nyamazan means shoot to kill the enemy forces who are standing in between us and our freedom. It was very clear that. And then the kiss is exactly that. It means kiss the Boer, kiss the farmer. Because I know when I say that, you are going to take offense. You know why? Because
You don't want a black person kissing a white person. It's an immoral act, according to the immoral act of during apartheid. Even to embrace love and kissing of black people to white people, it's a criminal offense, because we must not be seen to even suggest that it's possible for a black person to kiss a white person. If I want to kill, if I want to sing my Lord, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, I will sing it. I said to you, I don't sing it. It doesn't mean I will not sing it. I can sing it. Anyone who sings it will be well justified to sing it. It's a struggle song. And our struggle was not hate. It was a struggle for freedom. So don't confuse me to be saying, because I don't want, I'm singing kiss, it means I've replaced kill with kiss. No. I know that the racist will still be offended by a call to kiss. And I won in court. The court said there's nothing wrong singing kill the Boer, kill the farmer. When they favor Helen Zille, we must respect them. When they don't favor Helen Zille, we must not respect them. There is a court decision that must be respected. Those who have appealed it, they must go and fight it in court. We won, and we shall sing this song in line with the court decision. The Court of South Africa, an independent court, has made a declaration on this matter and is closed. This is sponsored outrage by Helen Zille. You know, black people, there are some black, clever blacks who are told by Helen Zille to get angry. Yo, Helen is angry, now we must be angry also. Eh? They wait for a magogo with a wrinkled Botox face. How do Botox and wrinkles go into, that's a face of a devil. A devil. Botox with a wrinkled face, pretending that she's angry. If Helen Zille was genuinely opposed to this, I don't even want to talk about that illiterate John Stevenson. If Helen was opposed to this for real, why didn't Helen join the case? Why didn't the DA join the case when I was taken to Equality Court? Why didn't the Freedom Front join the case if they are genuine? So I'm not going to over-explain myself, and no wrinkled Botox fake face shall make me over-explain myself. I will sing this song as in when I feel like. It's not my song, it's a struggle song. I saw some McG wannabe, one of these podcast people who failed with a very low followers, for so his relatives only that are following him. He says, I must educate Elon Musk. What is that? No, the one of Twitter. Elon Musk. I must educate Elon Musk. Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate. The only thing that protects him is his white skin. Elon Musk wants to learn about this song. The records are there in court. Let him go and read the judgment. Let him go and listen to my arguments in court. I argued successfully and paralyzed the grandchild of Oppenheimer, and said to him, if I were AfriForum, I was going to fire you from this case. When they did an appeal, they fired him. In line with what I said. I said, you are the most stupid lawyer I've ever met. If I was your client, I would have fired you. He was fired. So what a failed a podcast, this unemployed, lack of creative people who go and just take cameras and then do flopped podcasts, imitating McG, faking it. McG is still going to outshine them because of their fraudulent mentality. Copycats. Says I must educate Elon Musk. Refer Elon Musk to YouTube. There is a full clip of the court appearance on that matter, where it was canvassed in a neutral court of law and a judgment was made. This matter is closed. We have no time for nonsense.
So you had Julius Malema explaining on how this song means for the revolutions, and you could understand that this song, he was not the first person to sing about it. There's many people, including the ANC leaders, who have sang this song. It's just that some of them they stop. But why is it becoming a problem for Julius Malema when we all know that people such as Thabo Mbeki sang this song and spoke about it?
Kill the poor, the farmer.
That is not a song. It's a chant. It's a chant. Yes, President Mbeki explains that very well if you listen to the video. That the chants change from time to time and different chants get to be sang at different occasions, trying to describe the political situation at that particular point.
We need to talk about African tradition. There's no such thing as this was not a statement. It's not a statement of any kind. and wouldn't be read by any of this African youth as a statement. In Xhosa, this particular form of art, similar, is called Igwijo. And Igwijo is not a statement. It's not a political statement. It's a chant. You use it to miss. For instance, Amakwengwe, when they are going over long distances, they would be doing this thing. It's not a statement. You see, part of the problem with this is that somebody who comes from outside of that African culture interpreted it. And indeed, when you then write there, Peter Mukaba said, kill the boer, kill a farmer, he didn't. In the sense of a statement which represents policy. And it would not have been taken as a statement that represents policy. So there's no ANC policy which says kill a farmer, kill a boer and all that. But there would be Amagwijo of all sorts. You have a Zulu song, not quite Igwijo, but these traditional songs. Now, it's not a statement. It's not a statement I'm making that I will never visit Zululand. It's a song. I don't think we really. And you could do different ones and we could translate them. They're different chants. And they would be saying different things. Different things about the struggle. This particular one was picked out, as I say, and interpreted from outside of African culture and presented as a political statement. It never was. I really don't think that this certainly, I don't know Peter, whether Peter is here. He likes doing these things.
Come on, sir.
This is, in the first place, not a slogan. It is a chant. A chant that was there as part of the tradition of our military struggles, armed struggle. We've been chanting this slogan for years. The question of Boer has changed in content on the basis of the realities of the situation and our policy. It has always meant the enemy as a system of white supremacy and has never meant any individual on the basis of this or that color.
Where were you when I'm dream? So fast, Kichi.
Everybody knows that there is no connection between a political slogan in a rally and the murder of white farmers. No connection has ever been established. There was a whole trial, and the trial showed that there was no such connection.
Kiss the poor, the farmer. the poor.
Every time Julius says, kill the poor, kill the farmer, it's in the context of a struggle song. But what is he trying to do? What he is trying to do is to reflect the ongoing economic dominance and cultural dominance, by the way, not just economic, but he's trying to reflect the ongoing economic hegemony of whites against blacks. In other words, the struggle has not ended. Now they know this.
My Lord, as a younger generation in the struggle, we sing the songs those who came before us sang to put ourselves in the position they were before. Our songs are not in any way meant to engage in any literal engagement. They are songs for that purpose of the revolution.
So Peter's mentorship, we loved him, we admired him, we still do. I have a problem to date. Anyone who fought with Peter, I have a problem with that person. I've inherited those fights. So if they say, this guy didn't like Peter, I look at you twice like, he's got a problem, this guy. Then I start having a problem with you.
Look, we might be sitting here talking about Julius Malema, me and you, talking about what he have done, talking about DA declaring the EFF with Julius Malema as their enemy number one, all these kind of things that we have heard about Julius Malema. We might be discussing all this, but maybe we don't know exactly the man called Julius Malema. You might maybe just know this Julius Malema that you are getting to see in front of your TV and in your phone devices, yet you don't know who's Julius Malema, because he had life before he became this Julius Malema that me and you we are aware of or we get to know today. The men have life, and we have to understand who's Julius Malema, where he came from, what he have done before, who was he before he became a politician. In order for you to understand all this, I'm inviting you first to have watched this report that I have prepared for you. Watch it more careful, then I'll be back with more analysis after.
Julius Malema has been called many things: a rabble-rouser, an insider of violence, and a Marxist. But behind the controversy is the story of a man who has relentlessly fought for economic freedom in South Africa. He rose from humble beginnings to become one of the nation's most well-known voices for change since Nelson Mandela. This video tells the story of Malema's lifelong fight for justice in South Africa, from joining the struggle against apartheid to calling out today's leaders for failing to improve poor black people's lives. You'll also find out how Malema forced hard conversations, threatening to shake the status quo. His methods are controversial, but his goal remains the same: to push the country to fulfill Mandela's vision of economic freedom for all. Make sure you follow this video to the very end to thoroughly understand Malema, the multifaceted freedom fighter inspiring South Africa's youth to challenge the status quo and bring about genuine change for coming generations. Julius Malema was born on March 3, 1981 in Seshego, Limpopo, South Africa. He was raised in a small township and experienced the harsh realities of poverty from an early age. His childhood was marked by struggles, with limited access to education and basic amenities. Despite these challenges, Malema showed resilience and determination. While growing up, Malema was deeply influenced by his grandmother, who instilled a strong sense of justice and equality in him. She was a pillar of strength in his life, imparting valuable lessons about the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. Malema lived in the apartheid era and witnessed firsthand the injustices inflicted upon black communities. The oppressive political environment fueled his early activism as he became involved in student protests and community organizing efforts. His upbringing in Seshego shaped his worldview and ignited his passion for social change. He understood the systemic inequalities that plagued South African society and was determined to fight for a better future for his people. As a young boy, Malema dreamed of making a difference. Little did he know that his humble beginnings would set the stage for a remarkable journey ahead. After his formative years in Sashigo, Julius Malema's journey led him into youth politics. He immersed himself in student activism in the early 2000s, leveraging his passion for change to advocate for the rights of young people. Malema's dedication and charisma quickly caught the attention of the African National Congress, ANC, South Africa's ruling party. He ascended to the leadership of the ANC Youth League in 2008 at the age of 27, a significant milestone in his political career. This appointment catapulted him onto the national stage, where he emerged as a vocal and influential figure within the party. Malema played a pivotal role in rallying support for Jacob Zuma's presidency during his tenure as the leader of the ANC Youth League. His impassioned speeches and grassroots organizing efforts mobilized youth support for the ANC, solidifying his reputation as a formidable political force. Malema's ascent within the ANC Youth League marked the beginning of his rise to prominence in South African politics. His ability to galvanize young voters and his unwavering commitment to the ANC's cause cemented his position as a critical player in the nation's political landscape. However, Malema's rise to power was not without controversy. His fiery rhetoric and confrontational style often landed him in hot water, drawing criticism from both within and outside the ANC. Accusations of hate speech and corruption plagued his leadership, tarnishing his reputation and sparking internal discord within the party. The ANC took decisive action against Malema, expelling him from the party in 2012 due to a litany of disciplinary charges. This marked another significant turning point in his political career, as he was ousted from the organization he had once championed. Undeterred by his expulsion, Malema wasted no time regrouping and forging a new path. In the same year, he founded the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, a radical political movement dedicated to economic justice and equality for all South Africans. The formation of the EFF sent shockwaves through the political establishment, signaling the emergence of a formidable new force in South African politics.
One of the reasons why we believe that these people are so afraid of Julius Malema, it is the moment when Julius Malema decided to start the EFF as the political party. No one thought that Julius Malema would have that kind of popularity that the one is having today. No one could even imagine that someday Julius Malema will sit inside the Parliament of South Africa. They saw him as a loser. They saw him like someone whom they had succeeded with their mission by destroying his political career. Of course, they thought that it was over for Julius Malema. But from the first elections which the EFF they had to participate, Julius Malema did something, and he managed to sit inside the parliament with about 15 seats, if I'm not mistaken. You'll correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But Julius Malema came in the parliament with a lot of councillors inside and deputies all over the countries, and then they took place inside the parliament. That already, it was a big threat for this democratic alliance, because them as the first opposition political party in South Africa, they end up finding Julius Malema as the third biggest political party in South Africa. It had wiped and passed many of political parties which have been sitting in the parliament for many years. He stepped on them and then stand in the third position. That was something that scared these people, because now they were busy looking at how the future look now for EFF. Are we gonna be able to be sitting here and facing these people in the parliament? And that was not all. What about in the second elections that the EFF they participate? They end up increasing again even more numbers. They become even more in the parliament. They are all over the municipality. They even took some of the municipality like right now. And all these things are things that have been scaring the DA with their leadership, because they end up understanding that, okay, it seems like it's just a matter of time. These people, they are not just gonna overpass us, but they will take over South Africa. And that's when they start having this fear by saying, for an example, that if the EFF passes or if the EFF go into a coalition with the ANC, then it will be a disaster for South Africa.
EFF doomsday will make the collapse of Zimbabwe look like a dress rehearsal and will leave all South Africans destitute, black, coloured, white and Indian. EFF doomsday will plunge this country into ethnic and racial conflict, the likes of which it has never witnessed before. He is intent on igniting the civil war that so many South Africans worked and sacrificed to avert in 1994.
Another point that is making these people to be even more scared of the EFF is because after these people they managed to enter the Parliament of South Africa, of course they were the same people again who were busy criticizing the EFF, saying that no, even if they are here with 15 people, they are not going to do nothing. Their voice won't be heard. Even if we have to go for the vote, as we're going to vote with the ANC or we can vote with other political parties and no one going to support them, they won't do nothing. Well, that small group of people in the red suits in the parliament, they did manage to pass their message by first reinstating this so-called land without compensation, this message to be passed all over. We also saw how the ANC, they had even go and do some vote until when the ANC changed their mind and they betrayed them. We saw this small group of people which they were criticizing, saying that they were so small. The next things, they end up removing one of the ANC President Jacob Zuma in power. Yeah, like it or not, it is all thanks to Julius Malema and the EFF that the one who had to pass this message and show how radical they were toward former President Jacob Zuma until he was removed in power. Then, these same people, another reason that scared them is because Julius Malema, with the fighters of the EFF, they had to go and start now making noise about what happened in Marikana, because no one was talking about it. No one could not even understand or have a proper explanation to tell to people of South Africa of what had happened in Marikana. So Julius Malema went and make sure that the voice or the crying of people of Marikana can be heard to the people of South Africa by passing this message in Parliament. That was something also that scares these people. Another reason also that scares these people, of course, it is when Julius Malema with the EFF, they had to make sure that whatsoever they are doing, they must bring it to the TV of South Africa. Because this Parliament of South Africa, we all know that no one was interested in watching it. The only things you would like to watch, maybe it is Sona, and that Sona was not having that impact as it is having in our days. But all thanks to Julius Malema with the EFF inside the Parliament now, it had become that things. Many people now, they know that, okay, you can go and switch on your TV just to put the Parliament of South Africa and start watching of what is happening inside the Parliament. Before, that was not the case. Today, people are now more interested to watch the Parliament. Of course, it is thanks to Julius Malema and the EFF. So, with all these things being said, you will understand very well that no, like it or not, Julius Malema scares these people. Was that all? No, we're still going on. Julius Malema, they end up recruiting 1 million members. 1 million. That's not a joke. Do you know how many political parties do we have in South Africa, yet they are not able to even have 1,000 members? I'm talking about loyal, trustworthy members. There are so many of them. Some of them, they are being voted by only their wife and their side chick and their children or family members, uncle and aunties. But Julius Malema succeeded to have that 1 million. If we have to look now, I doubt with all this election coming up, I believe that maybe they are no longer that 1 million now. They are even going to 1.5, because the last time I heard there was something like 1.2. Now I don't know how many millions they might be. That is something that can scare these people. Because with that 1 million already, you will see yourself that no, these people, they are in the good way. One day we can sleep and wake up, they can take over this country and they can rule it. That is something that scares these people. Another reason that even end up wakening up the beast inside these people. When I'm talking about these people, you know to whom I'm referring to. I don't need to be mentioning people names here. But one of the reasons that scared them also the most is when the EFF, they decide to celebrate their 10th anniversary inside Soga City. That day, there were a lot which was said already. There were a lot of things which was said. That no, they were never going to be able to fill up that stadium. No, that stadium, the only people who had once fill up that stadium, it is the final of World Cup in 2010 and the first game of the rugby which was played over there in 2011, blah, 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 blah. Well, Julius Malema shows up in this stadium. He did not just fill lit where people are sitting, but he filled it even in the grass, in the ground. It was all packed. There is an image, there's a footage all over. You can see that the men fill up the stadium.
This is what we said about Malema in 2011. You can clean them the way you want, Adrian. I defeated you. FNB Stadium was full to capacity. Yo, I could imagine your face, Adrian, pink on the screen. Angry that a man you hated filled up FNB Stadium. Why would I be destroyed by Adrian Basson now? He left Cape Town. Adrian Basson works in Cape Town. This weekend he was here in the office harassing the staff of the News 24 and saying to them, you can't say everything was successful. Find something. Find something. You are going to look for something against them. Anything that we can use against them. Then they told us, Vuyani tweeted about it. He went back to the staff and said to the staff, who told them? Who told them that I'm here? Who told them? Everything Adrian is doing in that office, we get it toe for toe. He thinks those staff members like him. They are tired of his racism. They too are tired of his racism. They've been arguing with him. Adrian, it was successful, it's enough. Let's just acknowledge it. Why do you want us to write things that didn't happen? And the fighters have been calling for us to call for the banning of News 24 in EFF activities. I don't think we must ban them, shame. We must harass them through success. They must come here and see the cakes. After here, there is music, News 24 music. And then there are drinks after. For all of you, drinks, including News 24, you can drink. You must come here. We are going to invite you here to remind you when you enter that beautiful building that we failed. This is a reminder. We're inviting you we invite you to remind you of how much you failed and how much you are going to fail. Racism will never triumph, not in South Africa. And Adrian Basson is a racist small boy who will never succeed against us. We're not going to ban any News 24. Abatlemo barikire modimu abela di yo manabarna relevelechi manaba News 24. Riyawa laufala modimu arabela di yo.
So, like him or not, the truth is that Julius Malema did fill up the stadium. And that was a very powerful message he sent to every politician, to any political party within South Africa borders. And everyone who have good conscience, you have to acknowledge that, okay, it look like I'm having a very strong person that I'm fighting with. But on the other side of these people, they were going crazy, insane. Like, okay, now that things are getting this ugly, that's when they go insane. Another part which really make these people to go crazy and get even more scared of Julius Malema? It is when Julius Malema declared national shutdown.
National shutdown 20 March. We don't apply for nothing. We can't apply for that which is given to us by the Constitution. It is our constitutional right to protest, and we shall protest on the 20th of March. Like Sharpeville, we're not scared of the state power. Let the state come with its power, will come with the mass power. So everything is going to come to a standstill. We don't want to see a single truck moving. We don't want to see a single train moving. We don't want to see a single bus moving unless it's taking people to the picket lines. The trucks and the trains, more in particular, Richards Bay. Those ones who are taking our minerals out of our country through Richards Bay. On the 20th, if you know what is good for you, park your trucks in your depots.
This national shutdown, we all know that many people fought it. Some, they were even used. They paid them money. They have to go in the media and do some propagandas calling for people to not listen for this national shutdown. Proof to that, we're having people such as Clantal Lax.
Maybe just tell us what's happened. Your house was targeted?
Yeah, look, my house was bombed. Two bombs were thrown at my house. And not just small bombs, you know, proper bombs that, just to help you understand the quality of bombs, it literally all my neighbors' windows shattered, completely shattered. And that tells you that this is a well invested in operation. It's not one of those small time operations. It also speaks to the quality of leadership in this country. When people have a different view to you, when people actually beat you at your own game, the EFF said they're bringing a shutdown. And I'm not targeting the EFF and just blaming them out of an uninformed expression. It's informed because it's only the EFF supporters that took out videos on record on different platforms, social media platforms, calling out my address, telling me that if I don't stop challenging Malema, I'll get killed. Not probably, that's what they said. I can quote them. Even their CIC said, whoever tries to stop us will meet their maker. And let me tell you what I did. I literally led the stopping of the shutdown in Soweto. Do you see a shutdown? Do you see smoke? Do you see tires burning? The answer is no. Can a granny go to the shops? Yes. Can an ambulance come and collect a granny that's getting a heart attack? Yes. That's what I promised the people of Soweto. That's what I delivered this morning. There's no anarchy in Soweto. And it's not because there was no attempt. We worked tirelessly with the police together and the communities to make sure that we fight the battles and defend the communities throughout the night so that when the sun rises, you've got a beautiful Soweto.
So am I hearing you correctly? You saying that the EFF is behind this?
Yeah, that's my informed opinion, you know. And I mean, that's what it is. I don't have anyone that could possibly do this.
We all know that Clantal Lax back then, I made a video, I told you guys that no, I don't see this. This has nothing to do with Clantal Lax. The man is being used. They pay him so that he can also come and distract people or maybe calling people of Soweto to not obey to this national shutdown. Today, now that you guys are seeing Clantal Lax campaigning for the ANC, can you get the courage and come back to us and say that no, we were right when we told you that no, the man, he works for certain kind of people? Yes, if you don't want to see it, I mean, if you want to see it, you just have to look around. You'll see there's the videos trending all over. Clantal Lax campaigning for the ANC. Not even for the Dudula movement, but for the ANC.
I went on YouTube a bit to try understand, okay, so I saw some videos of you. We are not political parties. Well, we are people, we're activists. Yeah. So, what do you say? Because I've been seeing you in the past couple of weeks. Yeah. You've been doing what progressive young people around the country have been doing, which is campaigning for the African National Congress. Yeah. So, what made you decide in 2024? In these elections, I'm going to support the ANC?
Because there's no alternative. I'm the leader of society. ANC leads the people. And Clantal Lax leads the people. The ANC and I have a very special relationship because our constituency is the same. When I listen to my people speak, they're the people of the ANC. I can't tell them to be a people of anything else. My job as the leader of society is to listen to society and amplify their voices. What I'm doing right now, I'm amplifying the millions of people in Soweto, what they would like to see happen with this community and country, because these are national elections, not local elections. So I carry a responsibility of whether I like it or not, I will do as the people say, because I'm a leader that's been mandated by the people to go express their voices, concerns, and take their plight forward, whatever their plight is.
These are people who fought for that national shutdown to not take place. The DA, they even took the EFF to court.
I can today announce that the Democratic Alliance will be taking preemptive action against the threats by the economic freedom fighters of widespread looting and intimidation in relation to their 20th of March proposed national shutdown. The right to demonstrate peacefully is enshrined in our Constitution, but it is also clear that that right has to be exercised with due regard for all other citizens and has to be within the law. The recent attempts by the EFF to threaten, intimidate and coerce business owners into shutting their businesses, schools to being closed, and the threat to the infrastructure, both public and private, in South Africa cannot go unchecked. For that reason, the Democratic Alliance will be approaching the courts of South Africa to seek an interdict against the economic freedom fighters.
And the court, they beat them over there by the EFF, and they have to go again and appeal so that they can just cancel this national shutdown, because according to them, they said that it is unconstitutional.
The Democratic Alliance's application to have the EFF shutdown declared unlawful has been dismissed. The High Court in Johannesburg has, however, interdicted EFF members and protesters from shutting down schools, businesses and public roads. The court has also interdicted protesters from promoting or inciting violence. The Democratic Alliance argues the planned shutdown placed various constitutional rights in jeopardy and that the requisite notice was not given. We can speak now to the leader of the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen. He joins us from Durban in KwaZulu-Natal. John, thank you very much for your time this morning. Your reaction?
Well, obviously, we're delighted with the interdict that's been granted against the EFF in terms of committing violence and disrupting businesses and schools, as well as threatening to damage or close down infrastructure. That was always the main thrust of the case.
And thanks to God, at least we can say anything's bad about South Africa. But one thing, personally, I have respect for this beautiful country. It's for the fact that the justice at least is still existing, even this 10%. Because if it was not because of that, I don't know what would have happened that day. Even what we are seeing, what's happening with Zuma winning here and then, they have to appeal the decision and blah, blah, blah. They have to take him to the constitutional court and whatsoever. It is all because something's still remaining there. If it was in other countries somewhere there, someone like Zuma by this time is seated in jail. But just because these people, they still have that conscience of doing their job properly. That's why you see at least they're giving this process, and you see Zuma keep on winning, because they can see that the man is innocent and this is a political case. There are some people who are trying to make sure that it is over for Zuma political career. They don't want to see the man getting back in the parliament. That's the reason why they're doing all these kind of things they're doing around. So this national shutdown of the EFF, it was something that destroyed these people, because when they expected that it was not going to be success, well, Julius Malema ended up making it happen. We saw how the country was shut down on that day. It is only hypocrite people who don't want to accept it. But we all saw, even if we could not see with our own two eyes on certain part of the country, but we saw it through through the medias or through the social media, whereby everywhere it was quiet.
When you are, going into Seshego, we did drive around here as well. There's certain parts of this traffic circle. It is one of the main entrances into this particular township. Some of the roads blockaded. Just behind me here, there's also a shopping complex that is also shut down for the day. But also, let's talk about what is also happening in Polokwane as well. In the CBD, quite a lot of shops there closed for business, almost about 90%, but almost shop after shop as we drove around. We saw that there was no business or trading that was taking place. We did, however, manage to find some people walking, some saying that they are, small to medium enterprises, saying that they're running their own businesses, speaking about the inconvenience that today's activities has caused them. One particular gentleman telling us that he's a tailor maker. He sews for a living, telling us that he's unable to stock the necessary materials because shops were closed. Another one, I think, is also a hawker. He said that he couldn't, stock vegetables for the day, so there was no business activity that took place. Speaking about the impact that it has had. Some workers, however, saying that they had received communication from their employers saying that they were going to treat today on a no work, no pay policy. So a lot of them saying that they then had to come in. This is some of the bigger retailers. I know one worker that we spoke to saying that he works at one of the bigger furniture stores, telling us that, they were told they needed to come to work. However, they have not serviced even one customer during the course of the day because they are salespeople. They rely on people, on the, foot traffic walking in and out of the store. So that hadn't happened today. Town quite empty. Even as you drive around towards Limpopo Mall, this is where you'd find the big taxi rank with all the taxis leaving the province as well as local taxis. That is empty in terms of the stalls of the hawkers there. I did see, however, one lady that in all that emptiness, I saw her and a few mangoes there. So that she was the only one that I managed to spot today as we were driving around. A lot of food outlets as well are open, turning away business for the day. But you can see the workers are inside there, some of them doing what looks like a clean up in terms of, I suppose, using the day to clean the stores. But so many people affected differently by today's protest. Even the petrol stations, as you drive, you can see they've cordoned off the tanks where you are you'd put in your fuel. So quite an interesting mix of what is happening in the CBD. But when you go to suburban Polokwane, there you see a lot of people in the morning. They were jogging. People were getting their fitness goals in.
So now you understand that these all things, as we just unpacked it to you, these are the things that can make one person feel uncomfortable. And these people, they can see already that no, with the EFF, just a matter of time, they'll be taking over. Because, I'm saying this, even if it happened that EFF, they have to lose power in these upcoming elections, which I still found out that it's going to be very challenging for those who believe that Julius Malema or the EFF, they won't take power. I think they will be lying to themselves so far, because there's only two options. Either Julius Malema, they are going to take the opposition political party and they become number one opposition political party in South Africa with a big high number of deputies and maybe ministers in the government, and having a lot of councillors all over, taking a lot of municipality all over around the country, or either they take the presidency. So anything that is possible, because according to many analysis, they are saying that no, the ANC, they'll be dropping below 47%. On the other side, President Ramaphosa is saying that no, that won't happen, because we're still the ANC and we will be the ANC forever, and we will give our best. We shall wait and see. We don't want to comment much about that. But my point is that even if the EFF, they can't be able to make it up in this coming election, the future seems to be very bright for the EFF with Julius Malema. I will tell you why. Look, people who are voting for the ANC. Look, people who are voting for the DA. DA is being voted by white people and some few black people here and then. DA, they don't have the youth to vote. That's why you see in their manifestations, their prostate or whatsoever activities they do gather for, it always be boring, because there is not that vibe of youth vibes among them. Take a look at people who are voting for the ANC. We are talking about people who've been there before 1994. People who experienced this 1976 massacre in Sharpeville and Soweto and so on. People who had something bad, who had feel that pain or the kind of treatment they were receiving from apartheid. These are the kind of people who remain more loyal to the ANC, regardless of what the ANC can be accused of. They still feel like, no, we are voting for Mandela. We are voting for Mandela. And Julius Malema, on his side, he have the young ones, he have the youth, and he had to remind them that, no, go and tell your magogos, your parents, go and tell them that Mandela is no more. Mandela is gone. If you are looking for Mandela in President Cyril Ramaphosa, then you might be making a very big mistake, because Mandela is no more.
Fighters, we must tell our mothers and our grannies that they must leave Mandela alone. This thing that every time we go and vote, but there is nothing that looks like Madiba in the current president of the ANC. Tell them if they are confusing him for Madiba, they must just look at the nose. They will see there is no Mandela there. So there is no Mandela who looks like this one. Comrades, remind your parents that they were promised food parcels during COVID. And when the food parcels came, they were given relatives of the ANC and councillors of the ANC open spaza shops with those food parcels. Comrades, you must tell them and remind them that your sisters and brothers want a job in KSD municipality. They can't get a job because ANC councillor says they must sleep with him before they get a job in a municipality. So you need to remember those things on the 29th of May. On the 29th of May, we don't drink alcohol, Kumkan, because we are going to an interview. You can't go to interview drunk. When you arrive at the voting station, they are going to give you a ballot paper. You go into a voting booth and you start interviewing yourself. This time, we are not using our hearts when we vote. We are using our mind when we vote. When you arrive in the voting booth, you must start questioning yourself. Starting from tomorrow, what do I want? Do I really want this thing of mud schools?
So you can tell that EFF have a lot of young voters. And remember, the youth is what always dominates around the world. Like right now, the youth in South Africa, they are dominating about 60%. Now imagine EFF with all these old people they have and all the youth, because every youth want to vote for the EFF. According to what we are seeing here and then, every youth, they want to vote for EFF. So even if they fail to take the power today, can you tell already in the next coming elections how many youth the EFF will be having? Now, with all that being said, these people, they went and sit down and they end up realizing that no, actually, EFF is very strong than we expected. We need to start stopping them right now. We need to fight Malema and destroy him right now before it's too late for us. And if they keep on insisting, saying that no, we don't want to allow Malema to take power because of these reasons, because they know very well that once that happens, well, Malema will definitely do whatsoever he had promised for. There's a many interviews which they had asked him the same questions. He never beat around the bush. He said that no, once the EFF in power, we are going to take land, we are going to take back the land. We are going to deprivatize the banks and have a state banks. We are going to have this and that. All those promises. The man's going to do it. So these people, since they want to protect their interests, their own profit or their own benefits, they want to make sure that they should not allow Malema to do that. That is the reason why you see them, they launched that attack against Julius Malema, because they want to stop the man, because they want to destroy him, because they want to make sure that the EFF should not be well organized, so that they can go ahead and do whatsoever they want to do. But guys, these are the same people who also accuse Julius Malema, saying that no, he's preaching the gospel of hate speech. Well, let's try to think together and ask ourselves this question. Does Malema have problem against white people? Do Julius Malema, does he really have problem with white people? Well, in order for us to get the proper answer to this, I'm first inviting you to have listened to Julius Malema himself explaining or giving some of the reasons that he usually fight with white people. Then at the end of this video, you'll tell me whether Julius Malema really do have problem with white people or not.
White farmers must stay in South Africa, but I won't beg them. I won't be on my knees begging white farmers to stay in South Africa. But they must stay. If they want to stay, they are more than welcome. Like all South Africans, there's nothing special about them. Nothing. To ask me about, do I see value in the white farmers in South Africa, is to ask me about white privilege. I'm not going to glorify it. I see value in all South Africans. White, black, Indian, colors. All of us. I value you. I want you to contribute in the growth of the economy. There's nothing special about white farmers. There's nothing special about white people. The sooner we do that, away with that mentality, the better. I have no problem with white people at all. I have a problem with them being treated special. I have a problem with privilege. That's my problem. That when I say something, it's wrong. But when it gets to be said by a white person, it's right. I complained about Indians and how they are treating our people. The same way an Indian former constitutional court judge says, when it is said by an Indian judge, it's not a problem. When it is said, because they've got a special place in heaven and we are all going to hell. I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. That when things are said by certain people of a different color, they are understood. But when I say them, or Dali says them, or any African says them, they are said by an African child who comes from a poor family, a child of a domestic worker. Who's he to tell us? Can't be told by these people. So no one is going to destroy any white farm. No white person is going to be killed or beaten up under the EFF government. It will never happen. But they will have to come down from the high horse and be here with us. What makes the hostility is the inability of our fellow white South Africans to reach out. They don't reach out. They actually create an impression that we are actually owing them an apology. Not the other way around. We are the... I've never met a white person who says, let's preach reconciliation. They don't preach reconciliation. The victims are the ones who are preaching reconciliation. Victims. Because who are begging. I'm not Cyril Ramaphosa, I don't beg them. I will never beg them. They are going to stay here if they agree to be equal to black people. And I can tell you, my brother, I hear your accent. South African whites, they don't fear war. They don't fear blood. They don't fear any land taken from them. They know it will never happen. They fear equality. That's the only thing they are scared of. That they are going to be equal to monkeys. That's the only thing they fear. They know this Malema, they've listened to my talks. They know even when they reported me to Human Rights Commission, there's nothing hate about what this guy is saying. They know that. My crime is to demand an equality. That's a crime I'm committing in this country. To demand that the white minorities must come down from their high horses and humble themselves and work with fellow South Africans. These Africans have got no problem with whites. Actually, they love them too much. Some of them hate me because they think I hate white people. Or, hey, this one is going to make whites go. This one. They hate me for that. That's how much they love white people. They are prepared to sacrifice their own brother in protection of white people. That's how much they love. They have no problem with it. It is white people who have a problem with Africans. They do not see themselves being at the same level with Africans. And it's not only the white farmers, it's not the white managers in the newsrooms, it's not the white editors only. Go to the Supreme Court of Appeal in the judiciary. I sit in the JSC there. How the white judges in the Supreme Court of Appeal look down at their colleagues at the highest level of educated whites. Don't think it's just a child of a farmer who has a problem with black people. An educated white judge at the highest level has got a problem with an educated and over-educated African judge. When they write a judgment, they ridicule the judgments of Africans. When an African or a colored wants to make reference to the best reported judgment of an African, they say, no, don't use that. Use this one. They give you an alternative white reported judgment at the highest, second highest court. That's how difficult it is. Our black brothers have got no problem with white people. White people have got problem with us. No one is good. No one here. And some of us were even privileged because with the money we're getting in parliament, we've taken our children to private schools. Because there's no public school here in South Africa. Schools have collapsed. They befriend white kids. They bring them there in our houses. When we slaughter, we must start slaughtering with these friends of our kids. Do you think our children are going to allow that? We are building a completely new society where black and Africans are embracing one another. The problem is this old age. They have a big problem, those guys. Because they know the privilege of apartheid. The young ones don't know the privilege of apartheid. They know the privilege of being called a madam and a boss. And then calling older women girls and older men boys. They know that privilege. And today is no more. That's what offended them. So I'm not going to beg them to stay here. I'm not begging anyone, especially white people. If they want to go, they can go. At least they've got somewhere to go. We don't have anywhere to go if things don't go right. We've got only here to go. So any white that says I'm going, you must know their loyalty is not with us because they've got 2 passports. They are not South Africans. They are half South African, half British. They can
Go. They must live quietly. Hug.
Now that you have watched this video for yourself, you can understand that Julius Malema actually does not have problem with white people at all. Julius Malema, he have much respect for each and every citizen of South Africa, whether it is locally or international. He want to see everyone the same way. But where comes the problem is when these people, they don't want to be treated in the same way like everyone. They want to have the kind of treatment which is different from any other people. And that is where Julius Malema start having problem with these people. So you can tell that whatsoever is being accused of from these people, it has nothing to do with their reality. The truth is that what Julius Malema said in this video, is it true, yes or no? The kind of treatment that black South Africans are receiving and the one that these people are receiving, is it the same, yes or no? So the fact that this person is talking about this is not a sin. So why should we have to see it as a sin, or as something that make him become like a person who preach the gospel of hate speech? I don't think so. So you just have to understand that this is what they call politics. Politics, you make enemies. Politics, you make people who don't want you to be in the same level as they do. So they will try everything by all means to make sure that they stop you and try to eliminate you politically, so that your career in politics can be over. And that's what these people, they've been trying to do. And now that they can see that looking at everything, in 5 years to come, Julius Malema will be becoming the president of South Africa. So now that is their fear. That's why they are so in trouble. They are so scared to see Julius Malema taking over, because they know very well, that once this man is in power, obviously he's going to do everything that he had promised for. Now you understand our 8 reasons why we believe that these people, they are so scared of Julius Malema. Now you have to judge it for yourself and figure it out and see on how you can protect this, our African brother, and make sure that everything goes well. Guys, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate you here. Before you leave, make sure that you give us your thumbs up, like this video, and if you did find anything beneficial in this video, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, so that you can get to know whenever we are here live again. That will be all for today. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.